Hello everybody, and welcome to Yoga with Brock. If you don't know who I am Brock in the Box. And yeah, welcome. Yes, how's everyone doing today? I hope well. Let's get this week started off on another good note. Today we're going to be doing hips. We're going to be doing our normal stuff like usual, but the main focus today is going to be on opening up our hips. Hello, yoga, let's go. How are you doing there, Dare Day? I don't think I've seen you before. I don't think I have. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyways, yes, hips today. We are doing our hips. Did I do... Give me a second. I forgot to change the thing. See, I'm such a good person. But I'm going to continue talking as I do this, so I'm sorry if any lag here pops up. But yes, we're going to be doing hips today. And a little known thing, if you didn't already know, a lot of lower back actually comes from hips and hip pains. So if you are experiencing some lower back, this may be good for you. So yes. It's going to start lagging. Give me 1 second while I update the information here. There we go. Okay, that's fixed. Okay, there we go. It shouldn't hurt too much. It's relaxing. I promise. I mean, okay. Well, I'll explain a little bit. So yes, before we start and while we're waiting, make sure you are wearing some comfortable clothing. I recommend a yoga mat if you are on hard floors. We don't want you hurting yourself. If you do have wireless headphones, I do recommend having those in just so you can hear me and listen to the music and just kind of surround yourself and everything. And of course, have a positive mind. So, important things. If you haven't been to one of my sessions, I'm sure any chance we can get the title. Yeah, I just changed that actually. That's what I was trying to fix. I just fixed that because I noticed that because I was like, whoops, that's not right. Let me make sure. Oh, it did change over. Good. Yes, so if you've never done a session with us, welcome, first of all. But you are going to learn a few things here. The first thing important while doing yoga, of course, is to find your range. Well, as we do our stretches, there is you're stretching yourself too much or you're in a position where you're hurting yourself, and that's not the point. We don't want you hurting yourself. And there's also a spot where you're not, doing enough. And, you want to find that middle ground where it's not enough and too much. And, that's going to be the perfect spot to, actually enjoy and get the benefits of it all. We all do yoga differently. And so a pose that you can do perfectly, maybe not be one I can do perfectly. We were all built and born completely different. So it is okay if there's a position you cannot do. Find where you're most comfortable at while doing it, attempting to do it. And if you look at it and say, Brock, I cannot attempt that at all, it's okay to just sit there and just, relax, listen to me, listen to the music and whatnot. Another important thing is to be breathing properly. And of course, we'll be doing our breathing exercise here in the beginning, so you know how to be breathing properly. And of course, I'll give you reminders as we do everything, because if you're like me, when I'm trying to focus on, a hard position, I forget the most important part, and that's to breathe. And we want you to be breathing. Whoops. Ignore that stream element spot. Ignore him. If you need a break, like I just said, it's okay to just stop, sit down, relax. Don't overdo yourself. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I usually try not to read chat while I'm doing the yoga session, just because I want to be focusing on what's happening. And you can also DM me in the Twitch Crew Community Discord. If you are already not a part of that, there is a panel right below and it says Discord, and you should click on that and join this awesome community. We are built around streamers. It's a nice community. If you're new at streaming, if you're an artist, musician, we have a whole group of people. We actually have some game developers too. That's been cool. Whole big family. Join, We are all there. I'm there. There's tech support if you're new and need help setting things up or have questions about technology and whatnot. Building PCs, we have so many people. It's great. I love it. Best part of my day. So yes, let's go ahead and begin. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do our breathing exercises. And of course, as you're breathing, you want to be making sure you are breathing in and out of your nose. And why you want to do that is because as you do that, you are moistening the air, You are filtering the air through your tiny little nose hairs, and you're also warming the air. So you can dehydrate yourself weirdly by breathing out of your mouth. It's a long story. You don't want to dry your mouth out. You want to make sure you are keeping yourself hydrated through breathing. That sounded weird, Brock, but yes. So breathing in and out through your nose. And as you breathe, you want to make sure as you fill your lungs and breathe in, you are also expanding and filling your abdomen. You should be, instead of puffing out your chest and sucking in your abdomen as you're breathing in, your abdomen should be going out as you breathe in. And of course, as you breathe out and your lungs decompress, your abdomen should be moving in, helping just push all that out then. So yes, let's begin. So get in a nice, comfortable seated position. And if you're like me, I like to just put my hand on my tummy just so I can feel myself breathing and make sure I'm breathing correctly. If you want to close your eyes, go right ahead. And so let's begin. I'm going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and go ahead and breathe at your own pace, how you prefer to breathe, and find a comfortable pace that you find enjoyable and relaxing. Go ahead and take one more breath. All right, and go ahead and breathe at your normal breathing pace. Next thing we're going to do, now that we are all nice and zoned in and relaxed, we're going to start with our 6 movements of the spine. Spine actually can move in 6 different ways. It can bend up and down, it can go left and right. I was doing that towards myself. And of course, it can twist both ways. So, still good warm up, and I've actually learned that this is a good, these are good poses to do if you have any lower or upper back pain. So to begin, we are going to start on all 4s, on your knees and hands. Make sure I'm actually centered in the camera here. There we go. The first 2 that we're going to do are what they call cat and cow pose. So for cow pose, what you're going to be doing is kind of like a cow with udders. You're going to be lowering your abdomen down as your pelvis lifts up, and you bring a bit of a lift up in your chest and your head. And then cat pose is the complete opposite. You're going to be arching your back like an angry cat, bringing your pelvis in, bringing your shoulders down a bit, and just arching that back up. So those are the first 2. So if you're just watching, let's go ahead and start. We're going to do cow first. So lowering your abdomen, bringing your pelvis up and your chest just bring a bit of a lift up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to go back down to cat, or back up to cat, arching that back, bringing your pelvis in. As you breathe in, go back down to cow, dropping your abdomen. And as you breathe out, go back to cat. And back down to cow. And back to cat. One more time, back up to cow. And once more, back to cat. All right, go ahead and go back to your neutral position. Next one is very, very simple. What all we are doing is staying on our hands and knees. You're just going, let me go this side real quick. All you're doing is just going left and right. As your pelvis goes to the left, upper body should be going to the right. As your pelvis goes to the right, upper body going to the left. So just going left and right, back and forth. Nice and easy, finding a nice pace for yourself. You can deepen this stretch by just going a little bit farther. And make sure you are breathing, of course. Let's go ahead and do one more on each side. Alrighty. Go ahead and go back to your neutral position again. Last two are just going to be our spine twists. So for these, if you want to watch the first time, go right ahead, because it looks a little silly the first time. What you're going to do, we're going to start with our right hand first. You're going to go behind your left arm and slide it across the floor, slowly dropping your right shoulder down to the mat. So you're all the way down, keeping your pelvis up. And then with your left hand, if you want to deepen the stretch, just reach it behind your back and give yourself a little, bring that left shoulder a little bit of a pull up towards the ceiling. Just holding that position. So, do it again if you're just watching. Starting with your right arm behind your left, sliding that across the floor, lowering your right shoulder down to the mat, keeping your pelvis up. And then with your left arm, if you want to deepen that stretch, reach it behind your back and give yourself just a little pull up. And just holding that position, making sure you're breathing. Go ahead and do 2 more breaths. Go ahead and slowly unwind yourself out of that position. And of course, I need to turn around real quick. Next one we're going to be doing is on the left side. So, with your left arm, lift myself up a bit. With your left arm, slide it behind your right arm, slowly lowering your left shoulder down to the mat. Rescue your head down, keeping that pelvis up. And then, of course, with your right arm, you want to deepen that stretch, reach it behind your back. Give yourself a little pull up towards the ceiling there. I'm just breathing, relaxing. I see my cat has come to join us. Hi, baby. How are you? You come to do yoga with us? Yes? Oh, big stretches. Yeah. Let's do one more breath. Go ahead and slowly unlock yourself out of that one as well. And those will be our 6 movements of the spine. If you don't know, this is Bailey. She's my little boo-boo. She loves doing yoga with us, so she's gonna be in my way, aren't you, baby? Alrighty, so yes, good little warm up there. What I always like to do after doing the 6 movements of the spine is going into child's pose. All of that is sitting on your feet here, just reaching down, slowly lowering yourself to the ground, stretching out your arms all the way out, just lowering your head, just elongating your spine and stretching it out. And go ahead and slowly sit yourself back up. All right. So next, we are going to go ahead and do our sun salutations. Of course, I'll walk through them first with you, and then if you want to join in, go right ahead. If you want to watch the first time, totally okay. So let me switch over to the main camera. Hello. You're going to do some sun salutations with the boo-boo? Yeah? All right. So to start, let me adjust my camera real quick so you can actually see above me. Hello. There we go. Okay. So, to start, I'm going to start in a standing position, standing nice and tall. I like to imagine myself, the string running through my body, coming up to the top of my head, and just giving myself a nice pull up, just to help elongate my spine a bit. Making sure your feet are shoulder width apart. Just nice and tall. This is what they'll call mountain pose. Pretty easy one. And we start in prayer pose, just in a prayer position with our arms as such. And we're going to take a breath in to start. And breathe out. And we start as we breathe in, we're going to swoop our arms down and up over our head, crossing them. And as we breathe out, we're reaching all the way down to touch our toes. I gotta rotate myself now. Boo-boo, you should know what's happening next. We're gonna breathe in, up halfway up our legs. Breathe out, back down to touch our toes. And as we breathe in, we're gonna put our hands to the mat, feet back, and we're gonna push ourselves up into downward dog, or we just make an upside down V. Hi, baby. I'm just gonna move you for a second. And as we breathe out, we're going to shift ourselves forward into a plank pose. And as we breathe in, we're going to drop our knees to the floor, chin and chest, keeping our pelvis up. And as we breathe out, we're going to swoop ourselves up into Cobra, which is just making a L with your body, as you can see. And as we breathe that was out, breathe in, we're going to curl our toes under, and push back up into downward dog. Of course, we're going to, as we breathe out, we're going to walk our feet forward, hands back to touch our toes. As we breathe in, we're going to come all the way up, arms over our head, back to prayer pose. Those are our sun salutations. So, start, nice tall standing position, making sure your feet are Nice and prayer. And back out through our nose. Breathe in as you come up halfway up your legs. Breathe out as you go right back down to those toes. And breathe in as you put your hands forward, feet back into downward dog. And breathe out as you push yourself forward into a plank pose. And as you drop your knees to the floor, chin and chest. And breathe out as you push yourself up into cobra pose. Boo-boo. Look what you done did. Yes, you did that. I apologize. Give me 1 second. Boo-boo. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I had to unclip myself. There we go. I apologize about that. Let's go ahead and just start in downward dog again. I apologize. So, into downward dog. You need to get yourself, go right ahead. And we're going to breathe out as we shift ourselves forward into plank pose. And breathe in as you drop your knees to the floor, chin and chest, keeping your pelvis up. And as you breathe out, just push yourself up into cobra pose. And as you curl your toes under, breathe in as you push yourself back up into downward dog. And breathing out as you walk your feet forward, hands back to touch your toes. And breathing in as we come all the way up, arms overhead. Back to prayer pose. And breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. Breathe in as you sweep your arms down and up over your head, crossing them. Breathe out as you stretch all the way down to touch your toes. Breathe in as you come up halfway up your leg. Breathe out as you go back down. And breathe in as you put your hands to the floor, feet back into downward dog. And breathe out as you push yourself forward to plank pose. Breathe in as you drop your knees to the floor, chin and chest, keeping your pelvis up. And breathing out as you push yourself up into cobra. Curl your toes under, push yourself back up into downward dog as you breathe in. And breathing out as you walk your feet forward, hands back to touch your toes. As you breathe in, come all the way up, arms over your head, back to prayer pose. And breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in as you come, drop your arms and bring them all over your head, crossing them. And breathe out as you go down and touch your toes. Breathe in as you come up halfway up your legs. And breathe out as you go back down. Breathe in as you put your hands to the floor, feet back into downward dog. Breathe out as you shift yourself forward into plank pose. Breathe out as you drop your knees to the floor, chin and chest. And you're going to go ahead and push yourself up into cobra pose. Curl your toes under. As you breathe in, push yourself back up into downward dog. And as you breathe out, walk your feet forward, hands back to touch your toes. And as you breathe in, come all the way up, arms over your head, back to prayer pose. We're going to do 2 more of these. Go ahead and breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in as you sweep your arms down and up over your head, crossing them. And breathe out as you go all the way down to touch your toes. Breathe in as you come up halfway up your leg. Breathe out as you go back down. Hi, baby. Breathe in as you put your hands to the floor, feet back into downward dog. And breathe out as you shift yourself forward into plank pose. Breathe in as you drop your knees to the floor, chin and chest. And you breathe out, push yourself up into cobra pose. Curl your toes under. And as you breathe in, shift up into downward dog. As you breathe out, walk your feet forward, hands back to touch your toes. As you breathe in, come all the way up, arms over your head, back to prayer pose. And last one, breathe in through your nose, and breathe out. Breathe in as you swoop your arms down and up, crossing them. And as you breathe out, stretch all the way down to touch your toes. Breathe in as you come up halfway up your legs. Breathe out as you go back down to your toes. As you breathe in, hands to the floor, feet back into downward dog. As you breathe out, push yourself forward into a plank pose. As you breathe in, drop your knees to the floor, chin and chest, boo-boos. There we go. And as you breathe out, push yourself up into cobra pose. And breathe in, curl your toes under, push yourself up into downward dog. As you breathe out, walk your feet forward, hands back touching your toes. And as you breathe in, come all the way up, and as whenever you reach above your head, reach really high up, get on your tippy toes, give yourself a nice big stretch, and breathe out as you come back down to prayer pose. And those will be our sun salutations. All right, now for the main event with our hip openers. I'm going to switch it back to my close-up camera. There we go. Do you need hip openers, boo-boo? Do ya? I feel like you do. I'm going to move you to the side, baby. All right. So for our hip openers, we're going to be doing a few new ones today. The first one is called cow face pose. So for this one, I'll show you first. It looks a little fun here. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be bring your left knee in towards the middle, and your right knee is going to go on top of it. So your feet should be going out. Ooh, you're in the way, baby. I know you just want to try. Scoot back so you can see. So your knees should be over top of you. Now the goal is to have your knees together. I can't do that because I do not have the hamstrings to do that. So feet should be going out. If this feels uncomfortable, take it easy. You don't have to have your knees perfectly over each other. Find wherever's comfortable for you. And what you're going to be doing is with your arms behind your back. Since my right knee's on top, my left arm, I'm going to go over top as my right arm. It's going to reach behind it if you can. If you can link your fingers, go ahead. If not, just find where you can reach. And you're just going to lean forward just a bit so you find a good spot that feels like it is. You should feel it right away in your hips as you lean forward far enough. I can feel it mostly in my right hip. And then just holding this position, breathing. Again, do not push yourself. Don't give yourself a Charlie horse. Just find a nice spot where you can really feel the stretch. Hold it for 2 more breaths. All right, slowly raise yourself back up. Unlink your arms. Slowly uncross those legs. And you were just messing everything up today, boo. Stop it. Go ahead and stretch out your legs real quick if you need to. All right. We're gonna do the other side now. So, with your right knee in towards the middle, bring your left knee over on top, and as you can see, actually, I might be able to do this side a lot better. You might find you do one side better than the other. This is the case for me this time. Since we did the left arm up this time, we're gonna do our right arm up over this time. Reach your left arm back, see if you can link your fingers then. If not, just find a good spot. And then whenever you're ready, slowly lean yourself forward until you feel that stretch. You should feel it in your left hip this time. Until you find a good spot where it's just enough. Just hold that for 2 more breaths. Go ahead and slowly unwind yourself back up. Unlink those arms. Slowly uncross your legs. Go ahead and stretch your legs out real quick. Shake your knees out a bit. Ooh. All right, that was our first one. Started with the hard one first, so I promise the next few are easy. Next one is called fire log pose. What you're gonna be doing is gonna be making kind of like stacked fire logs with your legs. If you can get them straight, that's the main goal. I cannot do that. I'm kind of in like a locust pose here. And again, all you're going to be doing is just leaning forward. This is like a easier version of cow face pose, the one we just did. Just leaning yourself over so you find a good spot. Let me back up so you can see my legs actually. Just holding that, breathing, experiment a little bit, see where, if you can go a little bit farther, go ahead. If not, back up a bit. Take 1 more breath. Slowly lean yourself back up, uncross your legs. If you need to stretch them out for a second, go right ahead. I'll go right back. We're going to start with the left leg down this time. And your right leg on top. And then again, whenever you're ready, Slowly lean forward. See, now this time I can't lean as forward as much, which is okay. My little boo-boo. Just holding that, breathing, feel the hip opener. These are really good hip openers, I can tell you that now. I felt mine pop a couple times already. Let's take one more breath in and breathe out. Slowly raising yourself back up. And again, unwrapping yourself. Stretch out those legs. Shake out those knees if you need. Shake them out a bit. Ah. Perfect. I should have called this one hips and thighs. Woo, I can feel my thighs. Baby, I love you so much, but you gotta be good for a second. All right. Next one we're gonna do is called pigeon pose. I'm actually gonna zoom out just a bit because still a seating one, but I just want you to see the whole thing here. So for this one, I feel like the music got really loud. Let me turn that down. There we go. So for this one, what we're gonna be doing. Give me a second. Is it a brain fart? Oh, that's right. Okay. So we're gonna start with our right knee first. You're going to cross your right knee in front of your left. Knee should be kind of centered in your torso here. And then slowly but surely stretching that left leg back, lowering your pelvis and upper body below. If you want to hold it right here, the main goal is just to get that pelvis as low as it can. Feel that really good stretch. Just holding that for a few moments. Using your arms to support your upper body. And just breathing. Again, another good one to experiment. Find where your body likes to sit, where you feel the deepest stretch that's comfortable for you. Let's do 2 more breaths. Alright, slowly lift yourself back up, uncrossing your right leg. If you want to stretch that out real quick. Perfect. You just want so much attention today, boo-boo. Come on. Time to do something, sweet baby. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So, left knee out in front of you, centered in your torso. And then slowly stretch that right foot back, lowering your pelvis down to the floor. If you need to adjust yourself, go ahead. Finding that good spot where you can feel it stretching your left hip this time. And just using your arms to support yourself. And breathe. Yes. Meow, kitty. You missed the cat poses, baby. It's okay. One more breath. Go ahead and lift your torso up a bit. See, unwrap that knee. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into that child's pose. So sit back onto your feet. Stretch those arms out. And go ahead and lean yourself back up. And I got one more for us. This one's the easiest of them all. I promise, I promise. It looks a little weird. I apologize. But it's another great hip opener. So, for this one, let me zoom back into myself here. There we go. What we're going to be doing is what is called happy baby pose. If you've never done this one, if you want to watch first, go ahead. Again, a little bit weird looking, but super nice. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be sitting back on our backs. And what you're gonna bring your legs up. You're gonna grab the outside of your feet as such. Actually, what I like to do is I like to bring my knees outwards first, wrap my arms around, and then grab the outside of my feet here. And then using your hands, just gonna slowly just pull your knees down towards the ground. So you find a good position. Again, looks very weird, I know. So again, if you're watching on our backs, bring your knees up, bring towards the outside of your torso with your arms in the middle here. You're gonna wrap them around, grabbing the outside of your feet, and just slowly lowering your knees to the floor until you find yourself in a good stretch that's not overdoing it, but just a nice stretch in both of your hips. Hey, baby. Hi, baby. Let's do one more breath. Go ahead and unwrap yourself and sit back up. Actually, you can just sort of stay where you are, actually, if you want. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into our corpse pose and just spend a few moments just to meditate, clear our minds. I'm going to turn my mic off so you can enjoy the music. If you need something to focus on, what I like to focus on is I try to meditate, because meditating can be hard if you've never tried it and you're not used to it. I like to just listen to the music. If you need something to focus on, if you can't really clear your mind or your mind's running places, is to take all your attention and focus on your heartbeat. Just feel your heart as it pulses and feel it as it lifts and lowers your chest. Other people like focusing on their breathing and just feeling as your torso goes up and down as you breathe in and out. So we're gonna go ahead and go into our corpse pose now, which is just laying back down and using your cat as a pillow. Just find a comfortable, wherever you want your arms at, wherever you feel the most comfortable. Close your eyes, breathe, and